I wanted to talk today about probably the biggest reason people struggle in their golf swing. Most people do not have a physically limiting inability to hit a golf ball and or play good golf. Single digit handicap golf, because it's a game of consistency and miss hits, and as long as you're fighting physics and gravity, I promise you, you're not going to do better. And there are ways that you can set up that have been proven, researched, and shown to provide the results. I show my clients these, and again, the results I've had are extraordinary. The reviews are indicative, and the follow-ups, the what's happened after a year. Some of the things I see, quite frankly, I'm happy for them and impressed about the whole process, but it really is remarkable. But understanding how the brain works and how we're wired as human beings to learn new things, and it's not as simple as me telling you what to do in your golf swing. Identifying symptoms is prevalent in the golf swing, and if you fix, quote unquote, a symptom in golf, it's likely to manifest somewhere else because it's a very cause and effect sport. You have a second to hit a golf ball, and see, they're even saying hitting is misleading. You're swinging a golf club and the ball's getting in the way. Hitting the ball actually creates a whole lot of issues for people, and there is a distinction, and your brain needs to know the difference. So knowing something in your golf swing, you need to know what is actually the illness and how to go about fixing that, and it's not best served by swinging as fast as you can, as hard as you can, trying to hit the ball. It takes time, it takes dedicated effort, it takes concentration, it takes discipline. And I can't provide those for people. I can give you all the necessary tools, drills. What I'm challenged by and what the average golfer is challenged by is impatience, falling in love with just having the ball be your only source of feedback. The best players in the world don't do that. Most people do not have the time, the dedication, the practice necessary to become an elite player. If you are spending the bulk of your time with the ball the only feedback, you're just never going to get as good as you could get. And what frustrates me is seeing how close someone is, and not my opinion. I've gotten very good at recognizing good swings, but I can't see in 3D. When we check your swing, when we use K-Motion to check your swing, we are seeing things that the naked eye can't see, that video can't see. And that allows you to actually work on the issues that you have and resolve them the best you can without the constant guesswork in golf. I promise you, even the best players in the world, tour players, misdiagnose what they're doing in their swing. If you find the wrong problem, I promise you, again, you do not fix it with the right solution. You probably create two more problems, and you can see where this ends up. It ends up going around in circles and always struggling, as opposed to knowing what you're objectively doing well and sticking with that. The brain will sort the rest out if you have drills, if you have an understanding of how the brain works. How long have you played? How many neural pathways have you built, and how much have you insulated them with myelin? Habits never go anywhere. They lie dormant. Even if you build more neural pathways that become the dominant ones, your brain does not like change. It is a mechanism provided by nature. I'm not out here promoting these things based on my opinion. We have research, we have data to inform people how the brain learns. And me telling you something in your golf swing, whether it's 100% accurate, it's not going to manifest in your swing without some drills and without some practice that reinforces that to allow you to ultimately detach. You have to detach from the ball to focus on the process. And I realize that's hard, but if you don't do that, if you don't create the discipline, the understanding, the wherewithal to get feedback from your practice to better understand your swing, where you are in space, how you're using that club, you're going to struggle. So what I prepare my clients for is a reasonable understanding of how that process works, how the drills help you with that process. And it is a process. It's not an event. You have to be ready to accept the fact that you're going to have a few moments where your brain says, I don't like this. It doesn't mean that you're not doing it. It doesn't mean that you're not doing it right. It just means that you have a second to reorganize all of these things, and it takes more than 30 minutes. It takes more than a week. Depends on how many changes you have to make, but at least you know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. What you have to ask yourself is the pain of struggling with the same swing, is that more alluring than the pain of making some changes? Most people have the rest of their life to play golf. I promise you, your scores will get better, but you'll also avoid injury if you're swinging more efficiently. Again, not my opinion. I like to think a lot of what I teach is common sense. So hopefully you found this helpful. If so, please subscribe. I'm going to continue to put out content to help people with their golf game. I think there's a lot of areas that people would benefit tremendously that have nothing to do with swinging a golf club, and I'd love to share those with you. The easiest thing for you to do, however, is come get a lesson. Let's measure your swing. Let's find out philosophically, conceptually, what you think you're supposed to be doing, what you think in terms of how you're going to get better. I can help you map that out, and we'd love to do so. Stop guessing and start actually resolving things that we have the data, we have the research. There's a better way to do this, and I'd love to share it with you. So please schedule a lesson, www.upstategolfrx.com, and come see me. Love to help you with the golf swing. Thanks.